Hey, what's up, guys? It's Pastor Troy Wynn Sr., the senior pastor of the Freedom Church in the city of Warner Robins, Georgia. And I want to first start by saying thank you to the men, thank you to the brothers, thank you to the guys and the dudes who took some time, man, between yesterday and today to shoot me a message and say, hey, Pastor Troy, we just want to thank you for addressing us. Thank you for the content that you produce. Thank you for being a beacon of light. And man, I got to tell you something, guys. That means the world to me. I was out and about today and even ran into a brother who took the time to say, hey, I want to tell you thank you for what you do and the content that you post and how positive it is. And he admitted that he goes to my sites and goes to my web pages and my timeline because he knows he can consistently find good news, positive information, something to help strengthen him and uplift him. And I'm going to tell you something, that meant the world to me, as well as all the other brothers who within the last 24 hours took the time to say, hey, Pastor Troy, we appreciate you. We see you, man. We love you. We need you. Oh, God, that resonates so deeply with me, especially for men. Listen, guys, I know how hard it is for us sometimes to articulate and communicate how we feel. I know we struggle sometimes to put those words together and to step to one another from brother to brother and really tell a man thank you, tell a man I appreciate you, tell a man I respect you. For some reason, for a lot of us, it's one of the most challenging, difficult things for us to do. So anytime I run across men who do that, I feel obligated to pause for a minute, salute them and honor them and tell them, thank you, I appreciate you, and I hear what you're saying. Today, I just want to give you another word of encouragement. Hopefully I can keep it short and brief because I got a lot going on today. But men, you are on my heart because I am a man. I know the struggle. I know what it's like simply being a man. And then if you add on top of that, being a progressive man, being a man that loves God, being a man that wants to do the right thing, being a man that wants to be somebody, a game changer, a difference maker, and all of the obstacles sometimes we have to face just to make it through one day. I feel you guys. I'm right there with you. I want to be a source of encouragement for you, though, to help you understand that it is possible and achievable through the Almighty God. A little moment of confession. I spent a lot of years, guys, running away from God, and quite honestly, without even realizing it, I was running away from myself. But here's what I've come to realize, brothers, that no matter where you go, there you will be. If you go to the north, you're going to be in the north. You go to the south, the east, or the west, and when you get there, no matter how far the distance may be, when you arrive there, guess who's going to be there waiting on you? You're going to be there. Why? Because the reality is this, men. We cannot escape ourselves. And trust me, I've tried. Not only can we not escape ourselves, but I also had to come to the realization that as a man, we cannot excuse ourselves. Brothers, here's the truth. You are you. Take it or leave it, love it or hate it, but you are you. Now that's good news because you don't have to stay the you that you are if the you that you are doesn't serve you, if the you that you are isn't helping you be the man that you know God has called you to be, the man you want to be, the successful, productive, progressive man, then here's the good news. We can improve ourselves. Man, I got to tell you something. That truth gave me hope. That truth gave me motivation and inspiration that I can improve myself. And I need every man to hear me today. Understand this, brother. I don't care where you are, how far behind the 8 ball you may be, how far behind you may feel you are on some particular schedule or timeline. I need you to understand this. You can improve yourself. Now, you can improve yourself, brothers, if you're still running around blaming somebody else or something else for your past decisions. One of the things I do is I help people come to terms with their own truth, their own reality. And listen, I know firsthand how painful that can be sometimes, because sometimes it's easier to blame others. God knows it's easier to blame other situations and other things in life for our past decisions. But let me free you. Let me give you some keys to the shackles that are on your neck, hands, and feet. Let me give you the key to the cell that has you incarcerated, that You, my brother, cannot continue, if this is you, to blame someone else or blame something else for your past decisions. Here's the reason why. Because if you're that person, if you're that man that you're still blaming somebody else for your past decisions, it's proof, brothers, that you still haven't learned the lesson or the lessons that you should have learned. One thing I've come to realize, once you have learned the lesson or the lessons with an S, you have no need, no use, shucks, you have no desire to blame anybody else. Why? Because you have come to a place where you recognize that whatever poor choices, whatever dumb decisions that you've made, you've got to own them 100%. Not 50-50, not 70-30, not 90-10. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Listen to me, brothers. Every poor choice and every dumb decision that you've made, you have to own every single one of them 100%. See, I've understood, and I had to do this because I used to try to blame some people. I used to try to blame some things. I used to try to blame some circumstances. And as long as I was playing the blame game, I was lame. You look at the word blame, you knock off the B, what do you have? Lame. And you'll always be lame if you're somebody who's trying to find somebody or something else to blame. I want to encourage you today, brothers, don't blame anybody else. Don't blame anything else for any poor choices and horrible decisions that you've made. I want to encourage you today. It's in you. You can definitely do it, to take 100% ownership of your past. Here's why this is important. Then and only then, and I kid you not, when you take 100% ownership, can you honestly examine your mental, your emotional, and your spiritual state. And I'm talking about your mental, your emotional, and your spiritual state when you made those choices and decisions that were, let's say, less than stellar. See, the only way to advance beyond your past, and that's the goal in life, brothers, not to get stuck in your past, but to advance beyond your past. And let me just say this really quickly. We all have a past. We all have choices and decisions that we have made that we are not proud of, that we perhaps regret, that even to this day we don't quite understand what we were thinking or maybe even what we were drinking. But the truth is, you are you. And the truth is, you can't advance beyond your past if you can't take 100% ownership for every choice and every decision. Here's the good news though. When you're able to do that, you're able to honestly do two things: access and ascertain your mental, your emotional, and your spiritual state with, don't miss this, 0% blame of anybody else or anything else. How much percent blame? 0% blame. See, it's critical. It's critical and important, brothers, that you can honestly assess and ascertain your mental, your emotional, and your spiritual state. Because once you understand those three components, something magical happens. It happened for me. It's happened for many other brothers that I know. In that moment when you reach this place that I'm describing and encouraging you to pursue, something magical happens, brothers. Your past becomes your passport. Man, I like that. Your past becomes your passport. Traveling is one of the things that I thoroughly enjoy. It's one of my rewards for the tedious, arduous work that I do day in and day out. I reward myself via travel. I remember a few years ago, my wife and I decided we were going to travel to Cuba. And we had to have our passports in order to enter the country. Without the passport, we could not even get on the airplane. Without the passport, we were not allowed access into a particular area that we desired to visit. Well, I just told you, that when you're able to ascertain and access your mental, emotional, and spiritual state with 0% blame of anybody else or anything else, the magic happens. Your past becomes your passport. And here's the good news about the past becoming the passport. You get to live the life that exists beyond the limitations of your past choices and your past decisions. And I know a lot of brothers who feel stuck like Chuck. And they feel stuck like Chuck, whoever Chuck is. They feel stuck like Chuck because of their past choices and past decisions. I'm telling you guys, your past can be a superpower. How so? Your past can become a superpower once you learn the lesson or the lessons that you need to learn. Once you have 0% blame going towards anybody else for past decisions and past choices, then you are allowed access into a life that exists beyond the limitations of your past choices and past decisions. This is why you've got to stop blaming anybody else. This is why you've got to take ownership. I'm giving you a caveat. I'm giving you a carrot. I'm giving you a reason you want this passport. The life that exists beyond the limitations of your past choices and decisions, it's worth everything you got to go through to get to this place that I'm telling you about. Because in that place is where your freedom is. In that place is where your strength is. In that place is where your real identity is. And I know as men, our greatest challenge in this life will be to unlearn the limiting lies that every single one of us has learned on our way to becoming the men that we've become. You've learned some limiting lies. I had learned some limiting lies that I literally had to unlearn. Here's the good news. Once you unlearn those limiting lies, then every single one of us can begin to learn the liberating truths that empower us to become the men that we were meant to be. I'm encouraging you today to push beyond the parameters of your past choices and your past decisions so that you can learn this truth that has literally transformed my life and so many other lives. The truth that is El Shaddai. And the word El Shaddai simply means my supplier. One of the many names of God is El Shaddai. He's a truth that once you learn, you'll understand that you can look to him to supply everything you need mentally, emotionally, spiritually. But you also get to learn the truth that is Yeshua. The Western civilization calls him Jesus. But the truth that exists between El Shaddai, God, your supplier, and Yeshua, Jesus Christ, is the most liberating truth that you will ever come to know. Remember what I said in the beginning. We cannot escape ourselves. But here's the good news, brothers. With divine assistance, somebody say divine assistance, we can improve ourselves. And that, my brothers, is good news. Be encouraged, keep looking up, and push beyond the parameters of your past choices and your past decisions, and unlearn the limiting lies that make us believe that we cannot improve, that we are stuck, and that the best is behind us. The devil is a lie. I decree and I declare for every man listening to me today that your best days are ahead of you. Have a blessed day.